Afternoon Fix It fans. So it's fault finding and repair video today. So on the table I've got the Marantz PM-48, and it is about time I looked at this one because I've had this one ages now, just sitting on the side, and I haven't touched it. That is because I think this Marantz is going to be a bit of a nightmare. I'm much more at home with them vintage ones. I've done so many of them. I know a lot more about how to sort them out and that. When it comes to these more modern ones with a load of circuit boards and that in them, they are a bit of a nightmare, or they can be. So that is a little bit why I haven't done this Marantz, but I'm going to do it today. It's sat there long enough, so let's do the Marantz PM-48. And as you can see there is not a mark on the front of this Marantz. It is in really good condition, this one. No scratches, no gouges, no nothing. So I'm looking forward to getting this one going because I do like it, and I do think for the money I paid for this, if I can get it working, it's going to be a really decent sounding amplifier because it is a Marantz after all at the end of the day, innit? So it should have a good sound to it. So let me get in now and let's crack on and have a look at the old Marantz. So this one, I bought this one as non-working. It doesn't power up, it doesn't do anything. The on-off switch on it does feel a bit sticky, and the tone defeat button on it doesn't feel that clever either. So first things first, let's check the plug. Make sure there's not a problem with this, because the amount of times there is a problem with the plug. Right, so that's one of them safety screws that you can't undo. I have got a little gadget somewhere that can undo them, but I'm not going to bother with that. Look at it. So there, look, that is a safety screw that you can't undo. But look at that, that is like one of them 2-pin plugs that's had a UK plug fitted on it, and it's all rattly. That is terrible. For a factory fitted plug, that is a proper bodge job. Oh, come on, Marantz, you're better than that, Marantz. There's only one thing to do with that, and that is cut it off, and I shall get another plug and put on this old amp. 'Cause that plug there is terrible. I can't believe that come out of the factory like that, all rattly and that. But I bet it did. No one's fitted that plug. That is a factory plug. So if you own one of these Marantz and it's got a plug like that on it, cut it straight off. It is terrible. Where it's all rattly, that is like not making a good connection, and that really will affect the sound of the amplifier. I can't believe that this amplifier must have come out of the factory not sounding as good as it could have, because they done a bodge job on the plug. And that's terrible, really, isn't it? Because I bet this amplifier was a load of money when it was new, so you gave your hard-earned cash to Marantz for a nice new amplifier, and they couldn't even be bothered to fit a decent plug on it. So whatever man or woman agreed to that bodge at Marantz, you should be ashamed of yourself. And I hope you got the sack. Now that's the plug all stripped back. I just stripped the wires, give them a little twist, and that's ready for a new plug. I've got some plugs in my drawer over there, so I'll put one on it at the end. I'll leave it like that at the minute because it'll be easy if I want to test through the cable. So let's turn it round and start taking the screws out and take the case off of it. And with this one, I've never been inside one of these PM-48s. I have opened up and done some bits on ones very similar, and they have like a big circuit board that runs right along the back of the faceplate, and they have little tiny pots buried between a circuit board and the front panel. So if this one's laid out like that, then doing the pots is a bit of a nightmare because you have to take all the front panel off, take a circuit board out the back, you have to take loads of it apart to get to it. So I hope this one isn't like that. We shall find out when I get this lid off. So there's 2 screws I've taken out on that side, and then there's 6 screws to come out around the back here, and then there'll be the same again on the other side, 2 more screws. And I do hope this one isn't one of the ones with that circuit board right along the back of the faceplate. I don't fancy taking all that apart today. So with a bit of luck, this PM-48 is laid out a bit different to the other ones that I've had my hands on. So let's just take these last 2 screws out of this side and then take the top off and see what I'm actually dealing with today. Right, so let's take the lid off and hopefully I will be able to see the pots. So the pots on this one are easy access. Right, so I'm feeling that, and this is one of them lids that locks under the faceplate at the front, so you can't just take it off. So what you have to do is, there's a couple of screws either side. See them little screws there holding the faceplate on? You have to take them out. So let me just wedge a roll of tape in the back there to hold the lid up enough and allow me to get on these screws. So you take these screws out and the faceplate will just move enough to allow you to unhook the lid, because there's like tabs on the middle of this lid at the front here that you can't get out unless you move the faceplate a little bit. No, it won't come off just with one side released. I'm going to have to release both sides. So let's turn it round, do the same this side, take the 2 screws out, and then that faceplate should just move enough and the lid should come off hopefully. Right, so I'll just get my screwdriver again, take the 2 screws out of this side. So that's the first screw out, take that one out, let's get on this second one. Now there is screws that hold this faceplate on along underneath it, but I don't think I'm going to have to take them ones out. Just by removing these 4, should have just allow enough movement to get that off now. Give it a little wiggle, yeah, there you go, see it come off. It's just got them like 2 tabs there at the front and they just lock under the faceplate. So just put the lid over there out of the way. Cool, and look at that, that looks really nice and clean in there. Oh no, it has got that circuit board. See that green board there at the front? The pots are hiding behind that. I'm just going to put 2 screws back in this faceplate, one either side, because I will have to take them out to put the lid back on. But while I'm moving it about, I want to hold the faceplate back on properly. And it does look really clean inside this Marantz. And if you think this amplifier's from 1996, so it does look like someone's had this lid off before. They might have gone through it trying to fix it, and while they was in there done a bit of cleaning, because that just looks too clean for an amplifier that's never been touched since 1996. Surely it would have all fluff and dust in there by now. Maybe not, thinking about it. If this amplifier was always in someone's hi-fi cabinet, that would protect it from getting dust and that in there. So it might never have had the lid off before, but I think it might have. But I'm looking in here, it looks really nice in here. I can't see no telltale black marks. There's a transformer, looks nice and clean. It's got one fuse in it there, nice big heat sink. The capacitors look good on it. It all looks good in here, nothing looks like it has burnt out. Yeah, so at a glance round this one, I can't see no obvious problems with it. She'll have to investigate a bit further, find out why the old Marantz is not working. It could have a problem with the on-off switch, this one, because like I said, the on-off switch feels a bit sticky on it. So I definitely want to take the on-off switch out and check it. And also, the tone defeat button doesn't feel that clever on it. But I don't think the tone defeat button, if it has got a problem, I can't see that stopping it powering up or doing anything. So although there might be something wrong with the tone defeat button, I don't think that is the problem. But the on-off switch could be the problem with this one because it does feel very sticky. And if it's not moving properly inside or is jammed, it would cause this to get no power. So I've just took the fuse out of it, and by the look of it there is only one fuse in it, and although that fuse looks good, I should get me tester and test it because you never know with these fuses. Right, so the tester's on and the tester's working, and this fuse does look good, so it probably is, but I'll test it anyway. Right, by the look of that, that is not a good fuse. That needle should go up and stay up, but look, it's going up and jumping all around. So that fuse is no good. Look, I'll show you again. It should go up, just stay up there. See, that's flicking all about. That fuse is terrible. That's one of them modern ultra cheap fuses. You know them packs you can buy off Amazon where you get about 500 fuses for £1.99. That fuse is one of them, and they are terrible, them fuses. Do not buy them. So I'm going to put a new fuse in this Marantz because that is a terrible fuse. It was making a connection. It might have been a terrible connection, but it was making a connection, that fuse. So I don't think it would be the cause of this getting no power. But it definitely wasn't helping matters, that fuse. And I'm looking at that connector there, this one. Right, this connector here doesn't look in properly. It looks half hanging out. Look how easy that come off. That connector was not located properly. That should be locked right in there. There's another one here. Right, see that one? It's locked right in. That's hard to get out, that was. I had to really put a lot of force on that to pull it out. But this other one just fell out the moment I touched it. So that was not located properly and it was not pushed right in and locked in place. So there's a problem right there, that connector. So while these connectors are out, I'm just going to give them a go over with deoxin and then pop them back in. Because I don't want to take everything out at once. I might get muddled up where it all goes. So just do a couple of connectors at a time. So that one went there. Clean this one. Right, so this connector here then, that just wasn't in properly. That would be a problem. Right, so where's the other end go? Right, looking at that, the other end goes to the speaker select buttons. So that being loose would not affect the power, but that would affect the sound 100%. Right, so let's check these other ones while I'm here. That one came off a bit easy, like it was loose. That second one took a bit of force. Right, that end one doesn't come off. Some of them look like they're going to come off like them clips, but they don't. They are soldered on. So let's do these ones while they are off. Get me brush, get some deoxin onto that bit. Clean the little carrier. Pop it back on. And you feel them, they're quite hard to push back on, and then you feel them lock on there. So two so far have not been locked on there. So I think someone might have been in this amplifier having a little fiddle about and not putting things back properly. Right, that one was locked in there properly. That one was alright. Clean the little carrier, pop it back on. Right, so that's it. That's all the connectors. Oh no, there's a little brown one here. Let's do this one. That one was locked on there good. Clean the little terminals. Pop that one back on. Right, so that looks like that is all the terminals done. All the little connectors done on that big board there. So let's turn it round and do these ones up the top here. So that was 2 connectors loose on that board there. So let's see what they are like on this bit up here. I'll get the camera and then you can see what I'm doing. See, there's a couple here. That one is the power. That is your power lead. Take that one off. This one here goes to the on-off switch. And that one's on there nice and tight. There you go, that came off. And then there's this little tiny one here. I don't know where that goes. Take that one out. Right, so they was all on there okay on that bit. Then there is 2 here at the back of the transformer. Right, and that first one, that's not in there properly. That just came out so easy. Someone has been in this amplifier. A bodger's been in here. No, actually, the tinkering fairies have been in here, Ray. They have, mate. They've been in my Marantz having a party and pulling all the leads off on my lovely Marantz. Now, I know it's not the greatest Marantz in the world, but it is my only Marantz at the minute, and it is the first Marantz the channel has got, so I love it. So I'm just going to do all these little terminal bits with a bit of deoxit, clean all them up, and then I'll get in there to them ones at the back of the transformer. Get in there with a bit of deoxit, give them a good clean up. And that was loose. That first one I took off the transformer, that was so loose. And that's going to the transformer, so that will have power going through it, that one. So there's one down there to do. No, that's a soldered on one. That one does not come off. There's a couple more over here, but I shall do them in a minute when I take the volume pot out. So that one, the soldered on one, that is the other end of the first one that I noticed was really loose. Them there are your speaker select buttons, and they feel like they're working alright, but they feel a bit loose, them buttons. And this one here, that is the dodgy one. That is tone defeat. It's really hard to push in, so it's really sticky, and I think it should lock in, but it doesn't. It just pings back out. So hopefully get a good squirt of deoxin in that, it'll free that up and get it working. But these ones, they feel loose, them speaker ones. Oh, that's why. Look at that. Ray, the bodging fairies have been at my speaker buttons, mate, loosening all the screws up. Look at what they've done to that. That's rattling all about, all loose. Them fairies, Ray, they've been having a right old rave in my Marantz. That one's on there nice and tight, but this one, look at it. Oh, this poor old Marantz. No wonder it don't work. Just look at it. Everything in it is loose. All the connectors are loose. That's all loose. Everything's hanging off. Oh, I'm glad I bought this Marantz, because this Marantz really needs some love. So I'm glad I've got this one. It'll have a nice home living with me. It'll get well looked after. Because it hasn't been looked after, this one. It's been abused. And it's had tinkering, bodging fairies having parties in it and running amok. It won't have none of that no more, because there is no tinkering fairies in my house. Because I have trained my cat to take 'em out. Right, so let's pop these leads back on. I'm going to take the power lead totally off. I'll put that back on later. It'll only be in the way for now. Just take it off. I'll put that back on at the end. Let's get a little bit of deoxin on my brush again. And let's clean these connectors and pop them back on. Put that one back in. And I'll do the end of the power lead connector with a bit of deoxin. While it is off, then I know I've done it. Clean that up. Clean this little one here, do the little carrier. And that's not the plug. Where's the plug? That one. Right, so get that little plug, get some deoxin on it. Let's pop that little tiny one back on. Right, so that's back on. So let's do these ones that go to the transformer. And these ones are coming out of the transformer. So 240 goes in the other side, then it's stepped down to a lower voltage and goes out through these two. So this one being loose really would have been a problem on this Marantz. So let's pop that one back in. Right, that locked in nice and tight. When you push these connectors in properly, they lock in really well. Get that one, push it back in. It took quite a bit of force, that one. So whoever had that out last time didn't push it in enough. Yeah, they're in good. So that's it, no more connectors. That's the power lead one. Right, so I just clean the little fuse carrier up while I've got a bit of wet deoxit on my brush. So let's turn it round now, and next thing I'm going to do, what shall we do next? Right, let's do the volume pot. Let's take that out. Now the volume pot is up the front there. See, it's got a motor on the back of it, that volume pot. So this Marantz, you must be able to get a remote control for this that does the volume and all that. I've not got the remote control. And I'm looking at the back of this Marantz here. It does look like a right palaver to take that green board out to get to the treble pot and the bass pot. So I'm sort of thinking I might not bother doing them, because at the end of the day this Marantz has got tone defeat on it, so I can bypass them. And if it turns out there is a problem with them pots, I can always do them later. So let's just take the knobs off of the Marantz. And you need to just unloosen that little nut there on the volume bit. And then I think there's a screw at the back and then it comes off. Just get in there, loosen that up, spin the nut off. Right, turn it back round and you'll see what I mean now. There's one screw on this back part here, in there. And then this whole bit comes out and the tone defeat button comes out as well, so I can have a look at that at the same time, try and get some deoxit in it. So I just get the little screw, put it over there, and then right, this whole part now should come out. Yeah, there you go, that's coming out. You've got to undo these connections. That's why I didn't take them off earlier, because I knew I'd be taking these ones out. Just take that one off, and then I think this little one here has to come off as well. Yeah, so that one. So just take that one out, and that's it. That should come out now, that part. Yeah, that's coming out. There you go. So there you can see right at the back of that shaft, the little tiny volume pot. It's really small on this Marantz. Little tiny pot. So let's get the camera in now and I'll show you what I mean. That little tiny gold bit at the front there, that is the pot. And this one here is the tone defeat, and it's really hard to push in that tone defeat. And it doesn't want to lock in. That one there is the loudness, that's working nice. And if you look at them there, it's not even coming out properly, that tone defeat. It doesn't come out as far as the loudness, and I would imagine they should be level, them two buttons. So there's something not right with that tone defeat. So that down there, that little green board you can see with the 2 screws in it, behind that is the balance pot. So I'll have to take that off so I can do the balance pot. And then if we go across, buried down there behind that metal plate there, that is the on-off switch that I do need to get to. It's in there, but you're going to have to take the front off to get to that screw there. And then these 2 here are the speakers A, speaker B buttons. So I'm going to have to get all them out so I can tighten all that up where it's all loose and rattly. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to take that board out yet and go for it and do all of it. I should really, innit? I've come this far, but I've got to go and cook dinner in a little while because my missus is working late tonight and I promised I'd make dinner. So I was hoping to get this video done. That's why I was thinking about not taking that board out and doing them pots. But you know what, thinking about it, I've got to take that out, I've got to take the on-off switch out, I've got to take all the front off. So you know what, I'm going to do it, Ray. You'll be proud of me, Ray. I'm going to do the old Marantz properly, because I love this old Marantz, and at the end of the day, I'm always going to know that I didn't do them pots. So I might end this in a minute. This is going to be a part 1. I was going to do this whole thing in one video, but I'm not now, because I'm going to go for it and take this whole thing apart. And you wait till you see how much I've got to take out of this thing. There'll be nothing left of it time I've got to them pots. But I am going to do it, because I love this old Marantz, and I'm going to keep this Marantz forever. Not because it's a great amplifier, just because it will always be the first Marantz that I got for the channel, so I've got to keep it an eye. So I'm just taking these screws out that hold the front on. There's like 6 screws down here, so I should whip them out and then lay it back down, and hopefully the front will come off. So there's a couple more up the top here to take out. And while it's standing up like this, I shall take that one out the side that I put back in at the beginning. So one of them's out of the side, so I just need to turn it round and take one more screw out the other side, and then hopefully the front will come off. And I do hope I don't damage nothing, because this amplifier is from 1996, isn't it? So all these boards and all this front is all plastic clips, and it's all really brittle now. It's not like an old vintage one where it's all made of metal. The whole front of this Marantz is just plastic that is really old now. So I need to be very, very gentle getting this off so I don't snap them clips, because they like lock on the front of this. Oh, let's be nice and gentle, nice and gentle. I need to take that plug out. That plug's got it. Has anything else got it? Right, it feels like something else is still holding on to that. No, there you go. That's gone, that's off, and nothing broke. Happy days, the front is off. Right, so that wire there's got it. That wire there, that has got it. I need to disconnect that and get a bit of slack through. So that's that disconnected, and I'll just push some slack through them zip ties, and then I should be able to get the front off. And I only need a tiny bit of slack just to clear that metal bracket there at the end. Oh right, it's an earth's got it. Hang on, I've missed an earth. There's a little earth wire. It's screwed onto the chassis down here. I didn't see it. So let's unscrew that, and then we'll have a take 2 on the front, and hopefully it will come off now. Right, here she goes. No, hang on, another little wire. Let's take this little plug out, and we'll have a take 3 on the front, and it should come off now. There you go, the front is off. And no brittle plastic was broken, so that's good. Oh, but look at the state of my poor Marantz. This looked lovely about an hour ago, and look at the state of it now. So I'm going to end this one there. Now I've totally destroyed my Marantz, I'm going to go and cook some dinner and have a little cry in the kitchen about what I've just done to my Marantz. So thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and I shall see you next time.